All right, I should be live. This is going to be really quick. I had some time and I didn't want to put together a video and download content and all that stuff. Just wanted to talk about it because I know most people are going to be talking about it in a very confrontational console war type way. But the first thing I thought about when I heard about the news that Sony acquired Bungie, and before I get into this, let me do the whole tweeting this thing out nonsense. All right. So that looks about right. I'll throw that there. All right, that should be good. Now I have another, for some reason there's another stream showing up and I just need to get rid of that. Let's go to edit and then I have no idea how to get rid of it. Let's just talk now. So the first thing that I thought about was leverage. And I'll tell you why I thought of leverage. Microsoft acquired Activision Blizzard. The biggest thing right now is Call of Duty for them. There are a lot of other studios under there. Who knows what they're going to make? Who knows how to manage all of those studios? Who knows how to keep in touch with what's going on, quality control, all that stuff. However, they've got Call of Duty. So Sony's looking at that and thinking, well, we want Call of Duty to stay on the PlayStation, and Microsoft said they have a desire to keep Call of Duty on the PlayStation. So what Sony does is they put the onus on Microsoft, and I'll tell you why. With the acquisition of Bungie, very quickly you saw a statement that said, we plan to keep these games multi-platform. There was no ambiguity. There wasn't a lot of mystery around it. They said upfront, these games will stay everywhere because there's a large community of gamers everywhere. So now, if Microsoft decides, let's say 2 years from now when those contracts are up to pull Call of Duty, they look like the bad guy because here's Sony with a very big multiplayer game in Destiny, allowing everyone to experience it. Microsoft, the big bad guy, pulling Call of Duty away 2 years later. Leverage. The other factor is that I saw a lot of people, the armchair developers, who look very foolish, talking about, well, some sort of revenue split that was going to hurt PlayStation, 70-30 for Call of Duty, and Microsoft's making all that money. So what can happen now is, sure, the game will be multi-platform, but it's going to be 70-30. Or would you like to talk leverage? So I think it's very important to look at that. And I thought it was, in my opinion, a brilliant acquisition because, and I'm going to eat a piece of banana bread while I do this, because this isn't them just buying a bunch of different studios, a publisher with a lot of studios, a lot of IPs that may be dormant for a long time. This is them hyper-focused in on one developer that makes something really good, something that people enjoy. Not only that, but you heard about organically growing and being in charge of your own publishing, being independent and autonomous. You heard the same sort of PR speak from Microsoft when they bought Bethesda. Bethesda was going to be autonomous. They can create whatever they want. They can even publish if they want. And then Starfield. And, well, that's new. That's going to be exclusive. So I have a feeling that, again, leverage is going to kick in when it comes to Bungie's new IP. And you better believe that they're working on something new. This is a studio that knows how to make great worlds, great characters. They single-handedly allowed Xbox to stay around and be relevant. So whatever they're working on that's new, sure, the PR statement is, we're going to publish, we're going to put it everywhere, we want to build communities, we want to give this game to everyone, and that's great. But for Sony, it's leverage. Again, we're worried about Call of Duty. Are they going to give it to us in 2 years' time when those contracts are up? Toolman55, yes, 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 Bungie is one of the best ever, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree with you. Slay and Chalet and Sony is telling Microsoft we can have multiplayer games too. Good one. Yeah. But the thing is, in order to gain leverage and to ensure that Call of Duty continues on PlayStation, what did they have to do? They had to have something to bargain with. I know that the PR statement is, we're going to self-publish. We heard that with Bethesda. I know that the PR statement is, we want our games to be everywhere. We hear that from Microsoft all the time, as long as Game Pass is involved. Now there's leverage. Do you guys like Call of Duty We like it too. And we know that you like Destiny. So let's keep the status quo going. Very, very smart. Very, very smart move. And I think that it's going to pay off well. Now, in terms of Destiny and comparing it, how much money does it make? I'm sure Destiny makes a lot of money every year for Bungie. Now that money is guaranteed PlayStation money. Not only that, but they've got access to Sony's first party and the talent and the tools that those first parties share. Think about Decima, created for Killzone Shadowfall, moved to Horizon Zero Dawn, a brand new IP, moved to Death Stranding from a third-party developer, Kojima Productions. Now, all of that expertise that's shared among all of the internal studios is going to be shared with Bungie. Not only that, but Bungie's expertise when it comes to creating a shooter. A lot of people say that Bungie has the best gunplay in the business. For me, I don't really notice it because I'm not a multiplayer gamer, but I do love the gunplay. Now they can share that expertise with Sony's first-party studios. So it's a win-win all around. Slay and Chalet, and now it seems like it's becoming a buying studios war. Well, again, I think that acquiring a studio that always did something for everyone, that's something Microsoft began with these huge acquisitions. And Sony, they have to answer. They have to respond. They have to gain leverage. That's what this is. This is leverage. They've got a great IP that's multi-platform. They want it to continue everywhere. So does Bungie. Microsoft says they have a desire for Call of Duty to continue everywhere. Now there's leverage. Yes, you have a desire, but your desire is to force Game Pass on us. Now we have a bargaining chip. Would you like Destiny? Because we would like Call of Duty. That 70-30 split that you were going to give us for Call of Duty, we'd like to renegotiate that now because we have Destiny. Maybe we want 70% from you. You see what I mean? This is a very, very smart, calculated move. This isn't about buying a bunch of publishers that have a bunch of dormant IPs and one really, really big one. This is about them hyper-focused in on what they do great. And listen, this is not a console war thing. I'm sure you're going to see thousands of videos about this. I'm sure the people that yesterday that were screaming about Call of Duty being exclusive are going to be hyper-focused in on making sure everyone know that Destiny is multi-platform, which is pretty hypocritical. The bottom line, the key that I wanted to get out, is that this is all about leverage. This is very smart. And I think that they knew what they were doing. I think they know that in order to create a really successful multiplayer shooter is extremely difficult, especially in today's market. Microsoft couldn't do it. There's rumblings that they can't even do it with Halo Infinite. I like Halo Infinite, the campaign. I don't play multiplayer. So again, this is just things that I see. I'm sure Call of Duty is probably more successful than Halo in terms of player base. Maybe Battlefield is too. I don't know. But I do know Destiny is big. And under PlayStation, they have a lot of leverage. We want it to be everywhere. Bungie's going to self-publish. You can be sure, though, come on, that Sony has a say in what's going on. The same way Microsoft has a say in what's going on with Activision and Bethesda. Bethesda games like Elder Scrolls. The next Elder Scrolls may have not been coming to PlayStation. Maybe now it will be. Maybe only the new IPs under Bethesda will stay exclusive. Just like only the new IPs under Bungie will stay exclusive. Leverage. Sony can use that and say, we will really like Elder Scrolls. It's been here forever. Just like Destiny's been there forever. Just like Call of Duty's been there forever. We have a quote-unquote desire to have it everywhere. What is your desire, Microsoft? Would you like to be the guy that says, we want Call of Duty to be everywhere, we're honoring all these contracts, 2 years later, we're pulling it from this audience, but you're allowing Destiny to continue everywhere? Sony looks like the good guy, Microsoft looks like the bad guy. Leverage. This is a very smart move beyond console wars, beyond what platform is going to sell more, beyond what service is going to do better. I really think that Bungie and the way that they create things, and listen, you can be sure that they're working on something behind the scenes. Sony didn't just walk in there and say, we need to do something as a reaction to what Microsoft did, because it doesn't work that way. Deals like this have to be in the works for at least 6 months to a year prior. They couldn't just say, oh boy, Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. Let's go to Bungie and say, here's $3 billion. Okay. It doesn't work that way. This was going on behind the scenes for quite some time. They probably saw an IP in the works from Bungie. They probably want their hands on it. They want to make sure that whatever it is isn't taken away from them. And now they've got leverage, just like Microsoft has leverage. But they don't have as much today that they had yesterday when it comes to the Call of Duty thing. That's all this is about. And of course, creativity. Again, Bungie is going to leverage Sony's first-party studios and the talent that they have. They're also going to leverage the new IP that they have under Sony. And whether or not you agree or disagree, Sony seems to have something going on when it comes to just the general consciousness of gamers around the world, when they market things, when they talk about things, when they hype up things. And I'm sure Bungie's next game is going to be probably a really deep, story-driven, single-player game with characters and worlds just like Halo they did before a long time ago. This is a very big deal. This is the studio that essentially helped create Xbox, that kept Xbox alive through the OG Xbox era. So for me, it's really all about leverage. And that's the first thing that I thought about when I heard this. It wasn't that, oh my God, they bought Bungie. Oh my God, it's going to be exclusive. Now they're going to win the console war. It's just about saying, we want something that you have. What bargaining chip do we have that'll help us continue that status quo relationship? So Call of Duty being everywhere equals Destiny being everywhere. It's a simple math equation. 1 and 1 is 2. Call of Duty plus Destiny equals status quo. We want it on PlayStation, keep it there. You want Destiny on Xbox, we'll keep it there. And again, I want to go back to that press release, because the very first lines of that press release, there was no ambiguity the way there was with the acquisition of Activision and Blizzard, the way that there was when they purchased Bethesda, and then a month later they said, well, Starfield's exclusive. It's a new IP. So the new IPs are going to be exclusive. And there's some ambiguity around even the existing IPs, like, again, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Sony and Bungie were very, very clear right up front. And the reason they were clear, again, is to put leverage on Microsoft when it comes to Call of Duty. They said, all of our games are going to be self-published. All of our games are going to be available to everyone. We want to build up communities and keep them playing the games wherever they want. So imagine Destiny, a big third-party IP purchased by Sony and allowed to continue everywhere 2 years from now. And then Microsoft being the big bad wolf saying, well, we're going to pull Call of Duty and keep it all to our own. You see the optics of that? Sony can turn around and say, unfortunately, Microsoft doesn't care about communities on other platforms, but we do. And just like we said when we purchased Bungie a whole 2 years ago, we're continuing to keep the really big world of Destiny available to everyone, unlike Microsoft. That kind of bad PR they don't want. Leverage. I keep coming back to it. It's an incredibly smart move. And you've got to applaud it. Just like I applaud the move with Activision and Blizzard. I'm not one of these people that's, really happy about the consolidation thing, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can simply just look at it and give you my opinion. I think Microsoft bought themselves a lot of leverage. It was odd buying an established shooter when they have Halo Infinite. It's very strange to have two of those, I guess, competing with each other. But now you've got Sony and Destiny. They don't need to build a multiplayer shooter. And if they are, they've got one of the best studios in the world when it comes to gameplay and gunplay in those games to help their first-party studios make whatever they're making. And going back to what I said earlier, Bungie has the help of some of the most creative first-party studios in the world when it comes to tech. There's a reason why all of these first-party Sony PlayStation games look the way they do graphically. They've got a lot of talent behind the scenes creating these engines or tweaking these existing engines to make them look phenomenal. Take a look at a cross-gen title coming up like Horizon Forbidden West. On the PS4, it has no business looking that good. On a machine from 6 years ago, it's just amazing. And then you look at the PS5 version, it's not just a resolution and frame rate bump. There's a lot more going on there. So that level of talent, adopting that, absorbing it into Sony, is a win-win for them. But the overall theme that I think that means a lot more than acquiring Bungie or acquiring Destiny or sharing tech is leverage. And I made a video last week talking about it. The only thing Sony can do now is try and gain leverage for Call of Duty to keep these deals in place, to keep the status quo going. And this is exactly what they did by acquiring Bungie. So I pretty much laid out my opinion when it comes to this. Let me know what you think. There's 5 people watching. Slayin Chilean, Toolman so far left some comments. I think Destiny is going to be very good. I think it's going to continue to be very good under PlayStation. I think you'll probably see some more story-driven content. I think you'll see a lot of that expanded upon. And I think whatever Bungie is working on, you're going to hear about very soon. I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be exciting. And I think that if Microsoft doesn't want to play ball when it comes to this Call of Duty thing after the deals are expired, I could see Sony saying, well, we'd like to play ball, but it's just not fair that they're taking their ball and going home, so we just need to play with our ball. It's about leverage. Very smart move. I got to drink some of this coffee before it gets cold. Oh my God, that coffee tastes like destiny. My God. It tastes like $3.6 billion. So, those are my thoughts. 16 minutes and 30 seconds in, that's pretty much all I have to say about this. I'm like Gump. Quick, to the point. I'll get it over with. Toolman55. This is the studio I personally wanted PlayStation to acquire. Why did you want them to acquire Bungie as opposed to just letting Bungie do what they're doing and make their games available to everyone? They've always been on PlayStation. They've always been on Xbox. What was it about Bungie in particular that you needed them to be purchased by PlayStation? Apart from whether or not you agree with me or not about leverage. And I think that is an extra, that's a sort of a benefit, an ancillary benefit to buying Bungie as opposed to, all the other stuff, the talent, the IP in Destiny, obviously the revenue that game makes every year is now flowing into PlayStation first party studios and PlayStation in general, or the idea that they have a subscription service and maybe that free-to-play multiplayer is just going to be in that service. That's how they're going to roll it out, a big IP like that. So, what is it about Bungie that you felt like they had to purchase them? Honestly, I think this is a big deal all around. I really do. Call of Duty was a big deal. Microsoft had Sony by the throat when it came to this third-party IP. And what's really interesting is that, and I hate this about these sort of deals, you're going to see a bunch of people online making ridiculous videos. Curiously, the people who are, again, all for Call of Duty being exclusive, all day long are going to talk about how Destiny is third party. It's going to be third party. We swear it's going to be third party. If you're really upset about it being third party, why aren't you upset about Call of Duty remaining third party? This is about leverage. Great move by Sony. How many people out there are going to be playing Sony's Destiny tonight? Remember that one? How many people are playing Microsoft's Call of Duty tonight? Never really been into Destiny. The story, it's one of those stories that you have to dig for. I like a better presentation. I like being told a story, but maybe I'll have to check it out. Maybe they'll roll in some haptic feedback support real soon for the DualSense controller now that they own Bungie. Either way, that's my take on all this. I think the key word is leverage. But again, listen, don't be upset. Don't stress over it. It's just video games. You're supposed to have a good time with them. You're supposed to enjoy them. And this war of attrition, just forget about it all. The bottom line is these companies are going to do what they need to do to stay alive, to stay around. And again, let's go back to that word, leverage, because I think this is the smartest move for Sony. Hyper-focused in on individual developers who do one thing really well and then helping them build out new ideas, new experiences. If they had purchased a huge publisher with, 30 dormant IPs, maybe 2 that were relevant, talked about, well, we're going to bring this back, we're going to bring that back, we're not sure how we're going to do it, but we may be able to do it. Let's list off all of these IPs that existed at one point in time, and it's a win-win. I don't like that approach because look at Conquer. You've got Crash and you've got Spyro, but you've had Conquer for a long time and you did nothing with it. So my expectation for Spyro and Crash is extremely low. But when it comes to Destiny and Bungie and their new IP, the creative force that they can bring to PlayStation first party is huge. Tolman55, it's like you said, that they will be able to share ideas between studios and the potential to work on other IPs are a couple of my reasons. The gun mechanics and game physics are second to none. I hear that a lot from people. Again, I got to be honest, I'm not a multiplayer-centric gamer. So when I play like Halo Infinite, and when I think about the time that I played Destiny, the single player, to me, it kind of felt similar in that aspect. But I do know that a lot of people always say that Destiny's gunplay is the best. And now, Sony's first party, any shooter that they make or are making will have arguably some of the best gunplay of any game in the industry. So another win-win. Toolman55, it's hard to type what is on my mind in a limited text format. Yeah, I hear you. But I appreciate you just stopping in and leaving a couple messages. You know, I usually get maybe one person. So far, we've had 5 concurrent viewers. I'm talking about monthly active users, people. 5. I'm on my way. Microsoft's going to acquire me soon. Add me to that 600,000 monthly active user count now that they have Blizzard and Activision. So that's the thought that I had. That's what I wanted to share. Not that big a deal. The world isn't ending. But I know one thing. The guy in France who's putting the warnings up in the stores that Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard, he is going to be working overtime tonight, putting new warnings up saying, careful, Sony bought Bungie. Think about that one. So 20 minutes, guys. That's all I wanted to do. Talk about this, put my thoughts out there. And I appreciate you stopping by and saying hello. I'm going to go now and finish my coffee and